everyone. We are going to be studying grade 3, module 2, lesson 2. And our objective today, our learning target is you can skip count by fives on the clock and tell time to a continuous measurement model. The number line is what we'll be using. So your focus standards are time measurement and problem solving. Remember, you should be skip counting. This is a skip counting by sevens page. If you need to stop the slide and pause it and practice skip counting by sevens, you can use it. You can go 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, all the way through. Here's a skip counting by eights. Pause it if you need to and practice eights, although I did put slides on your Google Classroom. And here is our sample clock. It says skip count by fives around the clock. Remember, the 12 is always o'clock or 0. So then we go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60 minutes makes 1 hour, okay? What time does this clock show below? So always remember your shorthand is your first number and it's the what they call the hour hand. So the hours are the big numbers. This could be the first hour, second hour, third hour, fourth hour, fifth hour, sixth hour, seventh hour, eighth hour, ninth hour, 10th hour, 11th hour, 12th hour. Well, this hand happens to be pointing at the 3. So what we do is we put a 3 in first. So remember that after the 3 comes what's called the colon. And put that in next. And after that, that separates the hour from the minutes. So next comes the longer hand, which is the minute hand right here. And so we're just going from 0 to 5 minutes. So your time is 3:05 is how you say that. And you put a 05 in there. So what we have is the hour is 3 o'clock and the minutes are 05, which means it's 5 minutes past 3 o'clock. Let's look at the next one. What time does the clock show? Now remember, the shorter hand tells you the hour. So the tricky part about this is it's almost between the 2 and the 3. Whenever your hour hand is between numbers like that, and you have your minute hand on this side of the clock, it's going to push it closer to the other number, and you want to fall backwards. So this is actually 2 something. Even though it looks like it's between these two, sometimes even the farther this hand goes around the clock, sometimes this gets closer to the 3 and you'll think, well, it's 3 something, but it's not. It falls back to, if it's between numbers, you always fall backwards, okay? That's kind of like a hint. So this one is 2, and let me put the 2 in there. Okay, so I've put the 2 in there, and I've also put the colon in there, which shows the between the hours and the minutes. Now we have to do the minutes, and to do the minutes, we have to skip count. We start at 0 or o'clock, and we go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So the time is 2:35. Even though it's between, remember, you fall backwards, okay? So I'll put the 35 in there. All right, so I've added the 2, and then 35 tells how many minutes past the hour. Let's take a look at the next clock. What time does the clock show below here? So remember, we want to work with the hour hand first, and it's almost on the 10. It's tempting to say it's 10, but it's not. Remember, it's not quite there. Fall backwards. So this is actually, since it's not directly on the 12, this is actually 9 something, okay? So I'm going to put a 9 first. Okay, so now between the 9 and 10, remember, we're going to fall backwards. It's 9 something. We're going to do the skip counting now by fives, and it's almost 10 o'clock, and that's why it's almost on the 10, but it's really 9 something. So let's find out how many minutes past the hour of 9 by skip counting by fives. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So it's really 9:55 on this clock. Okay, so I put the 55 in there. It's 9:55, and really what this clock is telling us is, well, it's 9:55, it's 5 minutes until it gets to 10 o'clock. So as this hand starts moving towards the 12, this little hour hand will end up moving directly on the 10. And then as this one moves around, it will go between 10 and 11. but anywhere the longer hand is around here, it still will be 10. Okay, so always fall backwards on that. Now it says count by 5 minutes to an hour. So again, we start at 0, which if the long hand was on the 12, it would be o'clock, which would be double zeros. And then we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So for this next one, they want us to count by 10 minutes to an hour, which gets a little trickier. Remember, you're going to be skipping instead of going by 5 minutes, you can see each little minute interval in here. But instead of counting by 5 minutes, we are going to count by 10. So we're starting at double zeros or o'clock or 0. So then we go 10, 20, 30 or half hour, that's half hour, 40, 50, and then back on the 12 for 60 minutes. That's the hour. Okay, let's take a look at our story problem for this. It says solve this word problem using a tape diagram. We know how to draw those. We've been practicing. It says Christine has 12 math problems for homework. It takes her 5 minutes to complete each problem. How many minutes does it take Christine to finish all 12 problems? So if I'm drawing a tape diagram, have your pencil ready. You're going to pause this. Draw your 12 squares touching each other. And then we're going to put 5 minutes in each of the squares. All right, so I'll do that. You do it too, and pause your recording, and pause your video. Okay, so I have drawn my tape diagram, and I've put my 12 math problems, or my 12 boxes, and I've put 5 minutes in each of the boxes. Let's see, it says, how many minutes does it take Christine to finish all 12? So we're going to skip count by 5 until we finish all 12 problems. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So it takes her 60 minutes to complete all 12 problems. So for the next one, it says, now we're going to solve the problem, this word problem, using a number line instead of a tape diagram. So it says, Christine has 12 math problems for homework. It takes her 5 minutes to complete each problem. How many minutes does it take Christine to finish all 12 problems? So this time we're going to use a number line. So I'm going to draw my number line, and then after I draw my number line, you can pause your video and draw your number line. Okay, so what I've done here is I've drawn my number line, and I have started at 0, and then I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is the 12 problems. And then these are the minutes on the top. So I did 0 minutes here. And then she did 5 minutes for this one problem, 10 minutes for 2 problems, 15 minutes for 3 problems, 20 minutes for 4 problems, 25 minutes for 5 problems, 30 minutes for 6 problems, 35 minutes for 7 problems, all the way until I got down to my 12th problem, and she worked for 60 minutes. So my answer is 60 minutes.